The sun hung low over the supermarket parking lot, throwing long shadows across the rows of cars. It had been an ordinary Tuesday, quiet, still, nothing unusual. Until the screech of tires shattered that calm. Two patrol cars swung around a corner and boxed in a silver Dodge Charger parked near the exit. Inside the lot, customers stopped mid-step. Employees peeked through the windows. Something was happening. And standing beside the Charger, one hand resting casually on the roof, was Darius Holt. Tall, composed, early 30s, dressed in jeans and a dark hoodie. He'd just finished loading groceries into the trunk when the officers jumped out like they'd been waiting all day for trouble. The first cop, Officer Blake Harrington, red-faced and puffed with authority, marched straight toward him, finger already raised like a weapon. "You!" he barked, stepping so close their breaths met. "Don't move a damn inch." "Hands where I can see them!" Darius slowly lifted both palms, not flinching. "I'm not resisting," he said calmly. "Is there a reason?" "Shut it," Harrington snapped, jabbing a finger toward his chest. The finger. The pose. Meanwhile, the second officer, Officer Trent Wallace, made a beeline for the Charger. He yanked the door open and began rummaging inside with zero hesitation. Glove box, center console, under the seats. Darius watched him with a tightening jaw. "You don't have a warrant," he said evenly. "You have no grounds to search my vehicle," Wallace scoffed, still digging. "We don't need a warrant when you match the description." "What description?" Darius asked. "A black male," Harrington said proudly, as if that explained everything. People around the lot gasped. A few took out their phones. But the officers didn't care. They were locked into the performance of authority. Harrington grabbed Darius by the arm and spun him around roughly. "I told you to stay still!" he shouted, though Darius hadn't moved at all. Click. Handcuffs snapped around his wrists. "Under arrest for suspected vehicle theft," Harrington announced loudly so everyone could hear. "You think you can just stroll into this neighborhood and pretend you belong here?" Darius didn't fight, didn't raise his voice. He simply lowered his head and exhaled once. "You're making a mistake," he said quietly. Harrington leaned in, smirking. "The only mistake here is you thinking you can talk back." Wallace emerged from the Charger holding a bag of groceries. "Nothing," he said. "Clean, not even a parking ticket." Harrington growled. "He probably ditched the evidence. I'll get him booked. Keep searching." They shoved Darius against the hood of the cruiser. Phones recorded. Murmurs spread. His face remained neutral, controlled. But behind his eyes was something cold. Calculating. Not fear, not panic, something else. Harrington tightened the cuffs one more unnecessary notch. "That's gonna leave a mark," he sneered. "Good." Darius lifted his head slightly. "I warned you," he said. Harrington scoffed. "Warned me about what?" And then, he spoke the line you requested. "If you're still watching, like, subscribe and turn on post notifications." "Because what happens next?" Darius said softly. "Changes everything." He turned his head just enough for Harrington to see his smile. "Reach into my back pocket," Darius instructed. Slowly. "You giving me orders now?" Harrington laughed. But he reached anyway, annoyed, eager to humiliate him again. His fingers touched a wallet. He pulled it out. He opened it and froze, his entire face drained white, because staring back at him was a platinum badge with an eagle crest. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Special Agent Darius Holt. Counterterrorism Division. Harrington stumbled backward. Wallace stopped mid-search, mouth falling open. You're... Harrington stuttered. "A federal agent," Darius finished. "On assignment. In full compliance with the law. Driving my own vehicle. Shopping for groceries?" He paused, letting every word sink in. "And you two just violated federal detainment protocols. Conducted an unlawful search. And carried out a racially motivated arrest, on camera." The two officers looked around at the dozens of phones filming. Darius slowly lifted his cuffed hands. "You might want to unlock these," he said. Harrington lunged forward, fumbling with the key, hands shaking so badly the metal jingled. The cuffs clicked open. Darius took a slow breath, rubbing his wrists. Then, 3 black SUVs rolled into the parking lot. Big, government plates, tinted windows, doors opened in perfect sync. and out stepped a team of federal officers in dark suits. The entire parking lot went silent. "Agent Holt," the lead officer said, "we received your distress ping. Are you all right?" "Fine," Darius said, "but they're not." He pointed at Harrington and Wallace. "Detain them. Full charges." The officers surrounded the two cops instantly. Harrington tried to run his mouth. "This is a misunderstanding. We didn't know." But the federal officers ignored him. Cuffs clicked, this time on the right wrists. "You can't arrest us," Wallace yelled. "Oh, we can," the lead officer said coldly. "And considering you unlawfully detained a federal agent, racially profiled him, and illegally searched his property, you might want to start thinking about your lawyer." Darius turned to the crowd. "Thank you all for recording," he said calmly. "Your videos will help." Someone asked, "What happens to them now?" Darius answered, "By tomorrow morning, they'll be sued for $2 million each." Harrington's legs buckled. Wallace started crying, and Darius closed his trunk, slid into his car, and drove away, quiet, composed, and undefeated.